Time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace, former Ottawa Senator Jason York, and Shawn Simpson.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. We are into a few days before the season starts. Brent Wallace, Jason York, Shawn Simpson. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Busy day today.
Yeah, Wally Vision up and running, doing its daily newsreel.
No, we might as well get into this right now. Tough day for Wally today. Okay.
Why? What happened?
What happened?
So
a little premature.
It is hard to try and do video, take pictures, and pay attention to everything that's going on.
Well, I know you're a one-man operation. You're a imposter. I get it.
So yes. So when I'm at one end of the ice, I can't necessarily see the other with players in the way when you're in the corners. And so I thought I saw Carter Yakemchuk on the ice.
Listen.
And it just said, but he wasn't. So that was a mistake on my part. I think I got him confused, to be honest with you. Zack Ostapchuk.
You got caught up with all the hoopla and ballyhoo that's been going on the last 2 weeks. All you had to do was listen to me and simmer on what we said 2 weeks ago.
The show's over.
And your wig got all caught on fire and you're running around. Everyone's announcing. Simmer, everyone's announcing on Twitter. Yakemchuk has made the Sens. He's made the Sens.
Yeah,
I never said that.
Too many Chucks on the ice. That's what ends up happening. But it is also interesting to realize how the rules work with people of, am I going to send a guy on a one-way down that's a 13th forward and call somebody else up? Probably economically, no. And also just from a waiver standpoint, because you're on waivers and clear, doesn't mean you're going to get sent down. So yeah, a little bit of confusion and some premature evaluation for sure on projecting the roster for Thursday night.
So that I sat down next to Mendez and I had to chat with him about something else. And he's like, well, Travis Green's not speaking till 2:15. I'm like, what? He's like, I go, did I not see? I can't find Carter on the ice. Is he not? And then he goes, no, he was sent down. I'm like, I can't do it all. So anyway.
Well, that's Wally. It's a lesson to be learned. You need more listening, less talking.
I was by myself. There was no one to talk to.
But there was no way that this was going to work, guys. Like the idea that he would hang around and going to place him for a few games. Hey, he had an awesome training camp. He's going back to Calgary feeling great about himself. And hey, we'll see him back at the CTC, I'm assuming post-Christmas for a little World Junior Championship.
Oh, absolutely, fella. It's just looking good, feeling good, just like old trading places. No, this is what people forget. This start, and I sound like Groundhog Day, broken record. This start is so important for the Ottawa Senators. You cannot afford to be giving somebody a look-see for the first 3 games to see if can he play, can he not play. And in a perfect world, sure, it would be great to do that because this player, it does help. But the Senators aren't in a position to do that. The start is way too important, and everybody knows it. And they're doing what's best for all parties involved. And like Summer said, he had an awesome camp. Now he's going back on cloud 9. He's going to have a great season. And, Wade Redden's going to work with him. Wade's out in Vancouver. He's going to visit him. That's Wade's project for the season, is to help develop Carter Yakemchuk. And they've had a plan all along. And this has been the plan. They're sticking with the plan. And it's a good plan. I actually sound like Trump here. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
There's just way too many plans, and we don't know what they are. The other part of this, guys, if you ask me in training camp of the 7D that are here now, my biggest question mark is, where's Thomas Chabot going to go? You have to reward Hamonic and JBD. You don't have to. What's that? Sorry.
What do you mean? I think Chabot has been fine. How did he just get dragged into this?
No. Based on allocation of salary and just expectations, that's all. Not that he was bad, Wally. I'm just saying, JBD was excellent in camp. Hamonic was excellent. Jensen, to Zub. All I'm saying is I have high expectations for a guy that I'm paying $10 million to. Nothing negative. No. I'm just saying I want to see him go next level. That's all.
Okay, but
Wally.
Can we wait for the season to start?
Wally looks bewildered.
Games. I just don't know why he just caught some stray fire here. Let's just
no fire.
Wait a sec. For those tuning
everybody's
in,
held to a certain standard.
For those tuning in, Carter, if you haven't heard, Carter Yakemchuk sent down today Zack Ostapchuk and Zack McEwen also sent down today. Although I thought he had to clear waivers, McEwen, on a one-way deal, but maybe it's from last year. I have to look back. I'm not sure. Anyway, they've kept Adam Gaudette, who cleared waivers, but he'll remain with the club. And Jenik is also being sent down to Belleville. That's all the moving and shaking that's gone on for today. And
The old,
Highmore is hurt and out for a bit. There wasn't really much of an update on him today.
they did the old switcheroo too, because if you're looking at the morning newsreel, it said that Ostapchuk was in, and now Gaudette's back.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got to wait till everything plays out and who clears, who doesn't.
Yes,
and Gaudette had a really good camp, and we'll see now. Can he play in this role as a fourth line player? The one thing he can do is bring some secondary scoring, and he's going to play with two really fast skaters that can get on the forecheck and pop out some loose pucks. So, it's just, I look at this lineup, Simmer, from head to toe. Boy, I love the depth now. I love the depth. Like if you're rolling out Greg on your third line with Pinto, and how about the game Amadio had? I know they're playing a bunch of slep rocks like Montreal. No disrespect, but that's not a good lineup. But still, you can see the hockey IQ on Amadio and how smart he is and how he thinks the game. To me, that's one of the best undercover signings of the summer.
Yeah, and I think it's a clear sign the management watches our show. I mean, this is basically what we laid out for them. And they said, okay, we're going to work with this. The other part that you have to understand, and again, it's the annual waiver game. But in the case of Gaudette, the best thing to do is waive him now. Flush the player out at the beginning of the season when there's a million guys on waivers. Because a month from now, you know what? Somebody runs into some injuries. You may end up losing the player. So from management standpoints, this has historically always been the time of, hey, this is where I'm going to put the guy down on waivers. And then he ends up staying, and no surprise. And I think they're also looking, guys, for the fourth line, Wally, to maybe contribute a little bit. Don't just chew up 8 or 10 minutes. Can we put a line out there that can generate some offense? And I think they can with that 3.
So quickly, people are asking.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just Yorkie, they're asking about Gaudette being placed on waivers. Why keep him? So one of the reasons they now have 30 days that they can decide to send him down or not. And Travis Green was very clear today. He was like, well, he's here because he had a very good training camp, and he's probably the best player to put in that spot as of now. He's got 220 games of NHL experience, but it allows us the flexibility. If he doesn't perform early on, then he goes down, and so he knows that.
Yep.
So that's part of the reason for the waivers for Adam Gaudette.
Yeah, and we talked about this. I think we talked about this a week ago with Adam Gaudette. Familiarity with a coach, especially a coach coming into a situation like this, is really, really important. So there's no really get to know you stage. He knows what the player does, what he can, what he can't do. And he obviously sees something in the player. And I always say this it is a lot harder to play offense than defense. Defense is just a mindset. It's a work ethic, and it's paying attention to the details, being on top of the puck, especially as a forward. It's just not getting caught up ice and playing smart. Like, this guy's a smart player. And we'll see, it's nice too when the coach has some belief in you too. When you got somebody in your corner, that's how you survive in the league. You just need one guy that likes you and in your corner, and now it's up to the player, right? And there's some healthy competition, because everybody knows if you don't do the job, well, there's 2-3 other guys that can step in there and do that, and everyone's it's healthy competition, which Ottawa didn't really have in the past. It's like, here's our first line, here's our second line, and these are other guys, and that's what we got. And there's really nothing in the minors, so nobody's worried about losing their job.
Yeah, and in the case of Ostapchuk, I thought was just okay in training camp, guys. Gaudette, and not that there's not a sense of urgency for everybody, but at Gaudette, at his age and the point he's at his career, guys, it is like I'm playing for my hockey life. Like, I know I've got a good salary in the American Hockey League, but it's not much fun riding the bus. Like, this is a really hungry hockey player, and you're absolutely right. When you're familiar with the coach, you played for him before, and there was no reason. He had an excellent preseason. I was nothing but impressed as it kind of moved around and moved along, and seeing, hey, he's actually playing properly, and the fact that he can sure score, and I think it'll be a fun line to watch with he and Gregor and Cousins.
Travis Green brought it up because he was asked about Gaudette, going, "Hey, you knew him from before in Vancouver." He's like, "Had nothing to do with this," and they were like, "Well, you did know the player." He goes, "I know him, but he didn't earn the spot because I knew who he was." He said, a couple of days ago, Adam Gaudette needs to figure out basically how to play away from the puck. He's obviously an offensive gifted scorer. And we saw him score that goal coming off the wall. Like he just zipped it in. He just needs to understand how to play better away from the puck. And I think he's learned that a bit here. We'll see.
Well, there's such a so I didn't realize he's 28 years old. The difference between a 28-year-old hockey player and a kid like Ostapchuk, who's an 03, which I think he's 21 guys. It's astronomical. Like you're still getting used to the rigors of pro hockey. It takes a while for your body to adjust from junior to pro. He's had one full season in the minors. Sure, some guys make the jump right away, but you can tell he's still kind of growing into his body. There's at times on ice you get a little bit of that Bambi in you, where you fall down, you get up, and he's going to be a hell of a player. Ostapchuk. I think this guy's the real deal. But hey, why rush him to the dance? You don't need to. And he's big, he's strong, but he did get. Travis knows the player in Gaudette, but listen, Gaudette earned it. He had a better camp, plain and simple.
Yeah, I agree. And then again, we've also talked about a young player. Hey, how do you want to develop him? Do you just want to throw him in a fourth line role at this time at 21 years old? No. Send him down to Belleville, continue to play top 6 minutes, continue to offensively develop, and who knows what you'll have, because I think there's a little bit more, whether it's at center ice or wing, with his skill set and with his size, I think he could shift around. So I just think philosophically for an organization that was just a smart move, big picture. And it was nice that Gaudette came in and played well, because it's not like you're handing somebody a job. He deserves a job.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Wally Vision, with you had too much going on, and you just had the premature announcement on you finished the story.
Not only that, I'm waiting for Travis Green, and he's not speaking till 2:15 or later because he wanted to see how the waivers went down and all that stuff. So I'm trying to edit stuff and pack up so I can be out of there to get back. Like I didn't get home till I was 5 after 3 or something, and I put it's like a shade over top of my camera lens. But if you put it on backwards, it allows you to travel. But I couldn't get it off, so I couldn't focus the lens on Travis Green. So I've recorded him, but it's all out of focus. So that's the day.
Did you at least dominate the scrum again with the coming in hot mic?
It was there. It was a quiet media day. Like no Sportsnet.
Yeah.
TSN was there, the Sun, the Athletic. There wasn't a lot, Hockey News. There wasn't a lot of media around today. So I chatted with David Perron, chatted with Greg Batherson.
Yeah. Everybody in the media world focused on the Leafs' 13th forward, so Sens won't get much love right now.
I will say though, the Sens, and we're way off topic, but the Sens do or have seen to generate a lot more chatter this offseason than perhaps. Like you've got a lot of national people talking about, is this the time for the Sens? Are they going to make the playoffs? Is Linus Ullmark the guy? Like there is a lot more chatter I find positive about the Sens going into this season. That's just me.
For sure. Well, you went out and addressed a lot of needs this summer. And most importantly, Simmer says this all the time. Wally, I'll give you credit. We all talk about it. They went out and got a legit upper echelon NHL goaltender. You don't do that unless you're serious about winning. Like you look at teams like the Sharks and the Blackhawks and Columbus, and like those teams aren't going to be winning anytime soon. And that's why they're not making moves like the Senators did. Doesn't guarantee you're going to be a playoff team, but it's going to push you into the conversation of at least competing for a spot, because it was a very active and good off season. It really was.
Yeah, I agree. And other years we've got caught up in this, guys, with the hype train, and I'm not sure what to make. I look at the roster and I'm pretty bullish on where they're going to end up. But it's not only the moves, guys. It's just where they're at as an organization. I mean, you've got an active owner, you've got a real good management group, you've got a new coaching staff, all the player moves that have been made. You have the approval of Brent and Flats. Like when you go through that, you look at it and say, okay, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why, with all the negativity in the past, that people should be very excited about where Ottawa's at.
So let's. I have a couple.
Don't know. Like everybody. Well, it just people. Everybody thinks they know what's going to happen, but every single year there's just a couple of things that just jump out. It's like, who thought the Florida Panthers were going to miss the playoffs, and all of a sudden the one year just get in and go all the way to the finals? Or who thought last year the Devils were going to miss the playoffs? The year before they were the darlings of the NHL, and everybody was ticking them, and all of a sudden they missed the playoffs. It's just there's so much shit that can happen, and you don't know. All you do know is what you do in the offseason, who you have coming back, how you project your young guys to come out, and most importantly, if you don't have a goalie in this league, I'm sorry, but it's just too hard to win. And now they've got that. So to me, that changes so much for that team. Just having that guy, which they haven't had, and let's be honest, really since Craig Anderson.
Yes. So let's get to Linus Ullmark in a sec. A couple of things. One, Yorkie, I don't know what mouse you've used to fire up your internet today, but your camera is terrible. And people in the chat are not happy.
What's going on with it?
You're just blurry. You look like
what's going on?
It looks like you're on a 256 dial-up modem or whatever that is called.
AOL.
Really?
Yeah, you look good from
Do you want me to log off and log?
No.
Hey?
I don't know what's wrong, but you're just a big fuzzy ball.
You know what? HD. You know what? HD is not good for some people. You know, HD it shows a lot. It shows the show. Some people should be a little more blurry on camera.
Yeah, that's where you need a good makeup artist. That's all.
Yeah,
hey?
Yeah. You just. It's like I don't know. You're on like.
Well, how's my audio? Is my audio good? Is my audio good?
You sound great. You sound great.
Most people are listening. They're not watching. So
that's not true at all. I have the numbers to tell you.
Every.
Okay.
What percentage you're listening and what percentage you're watching?
It's usually like I'll say 60% like to watch more than listen.
I want to see these facts and send me the notes.
I will show you. I will send you the numbers after. Okay.
Wally Vision doesn't mean much if they're just listening. So hey, they've got to watch. They
I
got
know.
to see the video. Right?
I have got leftover makeup we've got to use up here. Yeah. All right. We're gonna get to goaltending, but first, this segment is powered by Square. If you run a restaurant, you're too busy for this ad. I'm telling you right now. You're thinking about getting more orders flowing and new locations opening. You need to get more customers and keep them coming back. So really, you're already thinking about Square because Square Restaurant Tech helps more than 400,000 restaurants do all those things and more. So when you're thinking about your restaurant, think bigger and think Square. Go to squareup.com/ca/en/campaign/BigInRST to see why Square is big in restaurants. Okay. You brought up Linus Ullmark. I will say today, I noticed, interestingly enough, when guys scored, for a while, it didn't seem like anything was going past Linus Ullmark. And then a couple of guys scored and they were celebrating, like not over the top, but the arms would go up and they'd be like, hey. And so I asked a bit about this today and guys were like, yeah, we don't score a lot. And Linus likes to chirp in practice. So we enjoy it. You can see guys enjoying scoring when they can. It doesn't happen very often. I will tell you that. They do not light up Linus Ullmark very much. If you see and we have the preseason numbers from both of the goaltenders, Linus Ullmark was outstanding. Like he's got a .930 save percentage in his 3 games. I don't think he gave up a power play goal. Are you guys convinced, having seen, I'll say the 3 games, 150 minutes of work, that Linus Ullmark is going to, I'll say it again, lean us to victory?
I'll let the goalie expert.
Yes, I should have deferred to the goalie first.
No, that's okay. But based on the preseason, guys, I'm excited. But it is back to Boston, back to Buffalo, just everything he's accomplished. And I loved his presser the other day where, hey, he doesn't care what happened in the preseason. So certainly, I'm not saying that I'm cautiously optimistic. I think he's going to be terrific. But there's just a mentality. And as far as that, guys, doesn't that remind you of Michael Jordan? You know, that ability to kind of go back and forth and in practice, a little bit of extra juice because you're going at it with the other players. There is nothing better than in a practice, just kind of having that friendly feel of, you know what, you're not going to score on me. And if you do, and you celebrate, I'm just going to get more fired up. So everything he's done so far and everything that his body of work since he's really been in the National Hockey League, guys, points to a true number 1 goaltender. What I didn't know, and which I'm really excited about, Yorkie, is the leadership component. Like this guy's got hey, I've come here to win hockey games. I didn't come here just to kind of hang out with my family and sign a contract extension. So that's what has me fired up.
Yeah, do you know that story you told, Wally, about guys in practice and not being able to score on them much, and then him getting a little bit mad when guys do score. It reminds me a lot when I played in Boston with Tim Thomas. Guys used to love scoring because really hard guy to score on. Was a great goalie, won the Stanley Cup, but he would get pissed if guys would score on him. He'd sometimes whip his stick at them, and he'd tell guys to fuck off and this and then if guys pass. But it was a true competition in practice to try and score on Tim Thomas. But that's what good goalies do. Like, they're competitive guys. But the thing I really like about Ullmark in games is how calm he is. Like, you watch him when he goes over and skates to the bench. Like, he's got a smile on his face. Like, he can't always be laughing and all that, but he's just calm. Yeah. And when your goalie's calm like that, especially when Otto had these young lineups dressed, it makes the rest of the team relax. It's like, shit, that's our starting goalie, and he's having a good time back there. He's smiling. He's got great body language. It's infectious on the rest of your team. The goalie's like a quarterback. And when your quarterback is calm, everybody else is calm. Obviously, you can't just be calm and let all the goals in. Like, that's not going to do any good. But it's so important. It's like your coach. Like, so often your team takes on the personality of your coach. It's so true. And with your goalie, that's why when you get scored on right away in a game, it's just such a deflator. But when your goalie, it's how he carries himself, how he acts, what kind of mojo does he got. And I love I'll use the word moxie. I think Ullmark's got some moxie going on, and that really, really simmer. I don't know about you, but I love the goalie that had that because it just rubbed off on the rest of the team.
Yeah, no, it's incredible, guys. And the other part of the failure the last 7 years not making the playoffs, and for most of these young players, unfortunately with Matt Murray and Korpisalo, and even unfortunately with Forsberg, there isn't that there. In practice, all of a sudden you're like, that's our guy. You know what I mean? Can you believe how good he is? Can you believe he's here in Ottawa? That's the confidence that ended up given to the group. So, oh man, it's just night and day. There was no trust between the players and the goaltenders in the last couple of years. Now, all of a sudden, this guy comes in, and why wouldn't you be feeling good? And like I said, I'm just so excited about the fact of he's willing to talk. He's confident, as you said, Yorkie, and calm. You know, it's real, and it's backed up by his time in Boston and Buffalo.
I thought Yorkie was going to comment. So let's move on.
All right. We haven't even talked about the biggest news of the
day. No, I've got lots. What's the biggest news of the day?
Well, more on Yakemchuk. Like I said, the hype machine in training camp, and expectations are he made the team. They're going to carry 8 defensemen. You know, that's a pretty big story.
The team
for him.
Never said he made the team. So
no, I know.
Like it didn't make sense to keep him. To have to have an extra D already waiting to play because there's not enough. There's just not enough time, right?
The other part with the schedule in October, guys, you don't need to carry 23 people. You know what I mean? Like right now, you can carry. You know, the 7 is automatic because on the back end, those guys are on one-way contracts. But as far as the forward group, maybe McEwen will end up being back. I have no idea. But there's no need. Like, you can call somebody up within a couple of hours if you need it. So this isn't even about economics, although their cap situation, they're right there, Yorkie. It's really just about, hey, everybody should be playing. You know, that being a 13th forward or 7th defenseman is not healthy and not easy if you go for an extended time where you're not in the lineup. Hey, get everyone down to Belleville, get them all playing. And hey, the guys that are here for at least for the month of October, you're good to go unless you run into some injuries. Like I said, guys are just a couple hours away as far as a call-up.
A lot of times when teams bring in guys that, no, neither do I. But a lot of times when teams bring guys in, you see at the end of the year, they'll bring a guy in, like a guy from college or something, and they play this guy like this as a defenseman. They'll play him like 18 minutes, 19 minutes, because it's the end of the season and maybe you're out of the playoffs or whatever. And you're like, wow, this guy looks really good. Well, that's because he's put into a position where he's playing all the time because you're used to that. And I say this all the time. I was telling a story. I was golfing yesterday and somebody was asking me about this subject. And people have no idea how hard it is to play in the NHL in the third pairing. And it's just because you have to be used to only playing 12 minutes. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 8. But you're not in the rhythm of the game. And to a kid like Yakemchuk, who's used to playing 25, 30, you're going to get cold. And then your brain is not sharp when you're in that position. And then you end up also, too, guys, I say this all the time, Wally, you're not playing against skill guys. You're playing against the third and fourth line. And a lot of times it's way harder because all they do, they have their sticks set on auto dump in. So as soon as they get to the red line, it's chip deep, and you're turning and you're pivoting, and then your face is in the glass, and then you go sit on the bench for 5 minutes. Next shift, repeat, rinse, same thing, and you're like, shit, this league is hard. But it's just it's so tough to do, and unless you've been in that position, you have no idea. I found it extremely hard when I was in Boston playing 12 minutes a game, and I never sucked so bad in my life. And it's an art. That's why for a guy like Hamonic, perfect for him right now. That's the ideal situation for him.
Someone in the chat asked earlier, I'm sorry I can't see the name right now, what your thoughts are on Tyler Kleven's game. Did he earn that spot, or is he there because there's just nobody else to put there? I will start with the defenseman on the team here.
I did a clip.
God, I
of
can't
him,
even take
and
you
I'll be honest,
seriously
I didn't
today
watch
because
every single minute.
you're a pixelated fella today.
Yeah, well, I can't help it. My voice sounds great though. I'll be honest, I didn't watch every single minute of shift of his game, but when I did watch him, I thought he was calm with the puck. I thought he looked composed. Could he have been more physical? Could he have got it? Yeah. So I'd like to see a little bit more on the physicality side of things. But I liked his game. I liked his composure. When I watch a defenseman, I watch how he moves the puck. I watched if he's using his brain, if he's making smart plays. I did see a lot of that out of Kleven. And listen, he's big. He's the only guy back there that has that kind of size. So did he make the team by default? No, I think he earned it. I think he didn't play poorly. I don't think he was off the charts. But the thing people get lost in the shuffle is he's not an offensive. He's not going to be doing things like we saw other guys do in training camp, like go lead the team in points and do that kind of stuff. It's little subtle plays you have to watch for. And I did see some of those guys. So it wasn't an outstanding camp, but I thought he was good enough to make the team. And with big guys like that, it's more if you don't notice them. So it's like I said, it's a hard league to play in, guys. And I wouldn't be too quick to judge this player. There's going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be some bumps in the roads, and there's going to be some learning on the job. But I thought he was decent.
Yeah, and I thought when he came in a couple of years ago, guys, he was fine. My only critique, and you touched on it, Yorkie, is some physicality. There's a couple times in the preseason where I thought he could have dropped the gloves, and I'm not looking for a bunch of fights. I'm just thinking get more involved, and I'm wondering the transition from college guys, when you have the mask on to the NHL, to the American Hockey League, is he going to use that? But he also didn't run around. He didn't do anything crazy. So I thought it ended up being a positive to him. I don't know what just happened there, but that was a good look for you.
I was trying to fix my camera for you guys.
You look like
Is it better?
I think I saw the inners of your nose. That's how tight that ended up being. The next thing, guys, is really just figuring out the chemistry. Is it Hamonic? Is it JBD? I thought both of those guys had excellent training camps. So I'm not worried about Kleven. But the other side of it is if he came in and rocked and rolled in training camp, that's great. We're going to judge him on the regular season. So let's fast forward to Thursday and see where he's at. But the negativity that's kind of lashed towards him, towards Hamonic, I don't think as much with JBD, but I would just say settle down. When you go through 1 through 7 for the Ottawa Senators, I put this out on the weekend, guys. I actually think that's a really nice group that they have right now. I think the slotting is really good. And I think you have to be realistic when you go around the National Hockey League as to where other teams are at. And I think the Ottawa Senators, as far as 1 through 7 right now, based on training camp, I think they're in a real good place as far as their defense.
So, Simmer, one point I'd like to make with you. I saw you tweet about Kleven earlier about dropping the gloves. The point I'll make is if you drop the gloves, it's an automatic penalty for most times. If you just go into scrums and just grab people and you leave your gloves on, you don't end up with minors. And I believe that's the whole issue. That's why there's so many sticks and scrums. If you drop sticks or drop gloves, you're more likely to get a penalty because of it. So
I just think in the preseason though, all rules.
I don't want him
to fight that time. You know, well, I'm not even saying fighting. Well, it is fighting. All I'm saying is I'd like to see him engaged a little bit more physically. And when something happens on the ice, he's such a big guy. In a scrum, just grab a hold of somebody. Now, when you get to the regular season, Wally, I totally agree with what you're saying. There's no need to take stupid penalties. I'm just curious as Yorkie gets comfortable with speed. Is this kind of a feeling out process? Because being physical in college when you're playing against 18-year-olds and you're a monster, and there's guys you line up that you just absolutely annihilate. In the National Hockey League, it's not easy to do that. We know that when all of a sudden you step up, it can cause problems. You know, I'm just curious whether that'll emerge. And if it doesn't, you still can't teach size. I mean, that is something that is lacking. What I'd like from him is just nice and stable, nice and calm, play your minutes, and I hope he evolves into a pretty good penalty killer. Those are my expectations for Clevin.
I'm disappointed, by the way, today.
Big and long. Big and long.
Why are you so delayed? I don't understand. With Yakemchuk being sent down, I was hoping he was going to make his debut on Thursday because he would have been the second youngest defenseman to ever play for the Ottawa Senators. Do you guys want to take a shot at who the youngest Senator defenseman ever is?
Youngest Senators defenseman to ever play was it Mazuros?
Yeah. No, he was 11th. He was the oldest teenager to play. There was 11 who have played at 19 years or younger.
Would Chris Phillips be one?
Reds was here.
Well, Redden's was a trade, right? He played a full year, and then he got traded for Bedard.
Wade Redden is the fourth youngest, and Chris Phillips would be the seventh youngest.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to go back to the early days because I'm guessing when they didn't have much of a team that they held somebody or brought somebody along, but I have no idea on the name, Wally.
Radek Hammer.
I think I got it.
Oh.
Radek Hammer, the legend.
What about Stan Neskash? Where's he on that list, Wally?
Well done, Yorkie. He's second.
That's solid. Oh,
he
nice.
was second. And
Stanislav Neskash.
So Hammer came up at the end of the season. I think he played 4 games at the end of that year. Netskash, as it said, played at the start of that season. So he was the true, as a 19-year-old playing.
When we talk about Hammer, what year are we going to, Wally? Like, when is this?
Inaugural.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
92, 93. Jared Cowan is third. Redden fourth. Erik Karlsson fifth. Everybody's favorite, Eric Brandstrom, sixth. Chris Phillips, Thomas Chabot, Cody Ceci, Andre Mazaros. Yeah. I spent a couple of hours putting that together, and then they sent him down.
Yeah. That is nice. I got to say, on Brandstrom, guys, I don't remember or recall somebody trading for a player and giving up a draft pick, I believe, and then putting him on waivers. That was a very bizarre move. Maybe it's a Swedish general manager that wants to have Swedes in the organization, but that kid must have been thinking, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to make the National Hockey League. Then you get the call, and maybe they're waving him, going to keep him up. But that was a bizarre transaction.
Unless they had to clear caps. No, it wouldn't have been cap space. There had to have been some reason, but maybe I'm wrong. It just seemed odd that they were going to immediately put him on waivers.
I think Yorkie's going to go tarps off pretty soon. The sweatshirt's not enough.
It's so hot in here, guys. My wife turned the heat on. We've got the heats officially on in our house.
Oh,
and I'm dying.
Come on!
Oh,
that's ridiculous.
I don't know what's happening with Yorkie today. I did. You know what? While we're at it, so David Perron skated today. He's been off for a bit, as it was said he had back spasm, or I guess it's spasm. I'm assuming it's in his back. He is back. Says he's ready to go. Why don't we listen now to David Perron?
It's exciting. We're getting in a really good part now, and starting to push forward, trying to apply everything that we've learned over the last couple of weeks here with Travis, the mentality and the type of game. Team identity we want to have on the ice, so it's really exciting.
Travis said last week that he liked the progress of training camp. I'm assuming you guys feel the same.
Yeah, we feel the same, exactly. And but at the same time, it's just I think a lot of teams are feeling pretty good about themselves and how do we react to adversity when it comes, things like that. And hopefully that we can build off what we just did here. And again, I think most teams feel pretty good about themselves right now, so it's up to us to make the best out of it early on.
David, in your experience
Just stay calm and get ready. There's not much. You just do your same routine. You don't want to change too much. It is exciting. There's a lot of emotion. Certain games during the year like that, the first game of the year, seems like it's a bigger game than it is. It's just one game in the end. And I think anytime there's games like that, whether it's in the playoffs, Game 7, things like that, you just got to fall back to your routine, whatever gets you comfortable to play your best. And that's what I'm going to look to do here personally.
There's been a lot of talk here about this team getting off to a good start. And
Okay.
how do you not get caught up in that?
Yeah, it's really just one game at a time. I'm not even sure how it went in the past year. I know I've heard some rumblings, but it's irrelevant. It's in the past. I think what we've done so far in this training camp is put our best foot forward, listen to their coaches as much as we can. I think we saw we got some wins in preseason, but not just the wins, just the way we played throughout certain times of the game. We applied exactly what Travis wanted us to do in all aspects, and it paid off a little bit. So now we reset that clock to 0, and we start building again.
In your short time around the team so far, what are your impressions of the younger players that make up the nucleus?
Yeah, it's awesome. Really, really awesome to get to know them. A lot of talent. They love being at the rink. They get here early. They stay late. They put in the work. So that's what makes me really excited to start the season with the guys here. I think we're ready to take a big step forward, and I want to be part of that. Yeah, doing better. It's great. I think it's a perfect week here coming up for me. We got some more skates with the team. Probably going to ramp up the intensity on a personal level. I pretty much went as normal today. Regular jersey, everything, and of course you kind of go in battles and you're being smart. I guess it's Monday of practice, and maybe Wednesday you just kind of Tuesday ramp it up a little more and go forward like that.
What did you notice about playing with Shane and Michael?
I love their game. I've been impressed with Shane, just all around solid player, and Mods. Same thing over the years. I know he's just a simple, solid player that has a good stick, is really reliable, and I want to pride myself doing the same thing. And I think we can be a good line if that's what Travis decides to have. I think we can be hard to play against, play down low, bring a lot of momentum to the team, and do our part that way.
So I'm excited for David Perron to be back because he's such a great guy to talk, and he's very honest in his answers. So look forward to more from old Joshua Perron.
And I think in the case of Perron and the case of Giroux, I'd even put probably Jensen and a few other guys. I don't think it matters in the preseason, Yorkie. We saw this last year with Tarasenko. I thought, oh my God, this guy is terrible. Heard some things in St. Louis. I couldn't have been more wrong. And then all of a sudden opening night comes and the switch goes off. And I think for him, not that he's faking the back spasms, but the preseason just doesn't mean much at this point in his career. And he and Giroux didn't get a lot of reps, but I'm sure come Thursday night that they're going to be ready to rock and roll.
Claude did have, by the way, his wife did have their child yesterday. So he had today off practice, expected back tomorrow.
Yeah. Charlie, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Awesome.
Charles in charge.
Excellent.
And if you're old like me, you'll remember that TV show. Yorkie?
Yeah, no, you know what? Charles in charge. What are you doing with the pop media, the pop culture references? That's my job, Wally.
That's Yorkie's area. Come on, hey.
I don't.
We all gotta. We're aligned. We gotta know our rules. Hey?
No, you're stay in your lane, Wally. Stay in your lane.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, Yorkie, can you take care of BEI for me, please?
Why, certainly. I can take care of BEI. Big thanks to our sponsors who have been here since day one. BEI, Bonisher Excavating. Great if you want to spruce up that driveway for some nice curb appeal. They can help you pave it as well. Aggregate and topsoils as well. They can help you with that. Plus, BEI also does equipment rentals. You can call them for all your landscape needs at 613-432-1120 or at bonishirexcavating.com. BEI helping to shape the Ottawa Valley, and remember to slow down in construction zones.
Speaking of slow, the way you are today. And by PEI, proud partner of Coming In Hot, or sorry, by Bet365. My God, today. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code DAILY365. Must be 19 years of age or older. Please play responsibly. I do have a question for you guys. What are the odds? We should probably call it. So what are the odds that perhaps Brady Tkachuk leads the league in scoring this season? So here are the top. We'll go top 5. David Pastrnak at plus 300. Nathan McKinnon at plus 300. Austin Matthews at plus 450. Brady Tkachuk at plus 900. And then Jack Hughes at plus 1,000. Who will lead the league in scoring this season? Would you, Jason York, take your $1 million that you have lying around in the couch and put it on Brady Tkachuk?
To lead the league in scoring?
Shots on goal. Did I not say that?
No, you said scoring.
Oh, for the love of God today.
You
Now,
shots
are
on
we
goal.
talking, when you said scoring as
These
well,
are
I'm like, okay, are we talking points? I'm like, where's
I give up.
McDavid? Are we talking goal scoring? Shots on goal. Over to you, Yorkie.
Shots on goal. Shots on goal.
Yeah, I actually, Brady gets a ton of shots in close. Like he'll sometimes get like 5 shots in a row banging away at the puck. That's not a bad bet. He could lead the league in shots on goal. He generates a lot. He's threatened my record many times of 12 in a game. We're actually tied now. But yeah, don't know if I'd bet $1 million. I'd take a couple $100 and bet it though. Absolutely.
Okay, here. So before Simmer, you give an answer. Top 4
Okay.
last season: Nathan McKinnon, David Pastrnak, Austin Matthews, Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity. When you first said, is he going to lead the league in scoring? I'm thinking, okay,
Okay,
well, scoring.
okay.
Where's McDavid? And then I'm
going
like, okay, is
on.
it on goals? We should come up with a trifecta for how many goals to penalty minutes to shots on goal. Will he lead in all 3 categories? Possibility. I would take that bet, Wally. You know, I look at it just like Yorkie said. He also has a tendency at times just to put pucks on net. I'm not always saying it's not a bad thing, but there's the odd time he just kind of comes in the zone and launches one in. And then based on the power play, as you said, all those second opportunities, everything down low. So I will take that bet, Wally. I'll say that Brady Tkachuk has a chance to lead the league in shots on goal.
Okay. I'm going to go with Nathan McKinnon as it's an easy pick, but Joshua Bois just donated $20 to the show. Here, boys, have a few beers on me. I think you boys need it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does McDavid or Draisaitl not come into the conversation? Like I don't follow shots on goal. My assumption would be that Draisaitl would be awfully high. I'm a little surprised that he's not in that mix.
Draisaitl not in the top 20 last year.
Wow. Okay.
Not in the top 25. Connor McDavid was 25th in shots on goal. So
maybe they score so much that they don't have a second opportunity.
Well, maybe they don't wait around for the rebounds.
Even guys like Stamkos, Ovechkin. Like I guess drilled in my head is just all the one-timers those guys get on the power play. So, but no, Brady gets a lot of chances and a ton from down low.
Ovechkin tied for 19th. Just quickly, I want to just
Wally,
make a point.
where's
we are working on the money being donated through our supers program in the YouTube chat. We are working on working with a charity to make it a donation for those who donate to the show during that chat. So just letting you know,
awesome.
It'll be coming shortly. Sorry. Go ahead, Yorkie.
I don't. Where is Brett Burns on that list? He always drifts a lot of pucks on that. Just throws those wristers in there nonstop. He used to be right up there.
Well, not in the top 25.
Not in there. Yeah.
Not in the top.
Okay. I'm thinking San Jose. Brent Burns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not there.
He's okay.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where to go from here. I will say, I meant to get back to it. The David Perron clip, he talked about playing with Pinto and Amadio, and he seemed pretty excited for that possibility. I do like the makeup of that line. I do like the way that these lines have been so far structured, if that's how they work themselves out as we get closer to Thursday's game with the Florida Panthers.
I totally agree. And you think of Pinto having the hat trick the other night. I know it's only preseason, but my, oh my, talk about confidence with the puck. Talk about some beauty moves he ends up making. So I go into the season, guys, and I'm not, and I hate when I say this, like I'm not a mega Sens fan. I want to see the Sens do well for the market. It's great for our show. But I look at the lineup right now, guys, and to me, that's playoffs. Like when I look at the slotting, and again, it has to be health.
Okay, wait.
But
don't talk playoffs. We have a show tomorrow that Yorkie just poo-pooed picking teams in the standings and how they're going to work out in the season. And now you want to talk about where you're going to think the Sens are going to. We will do that tomorrow in our season preview show.
Okay, I won't go into that, Wally. All I'm saying is that I'm going through the lineup. What I'm also, I always realize is that my focus is completely on the Sens. And certainly from the past, I know some of the other teams. And how did I feel about Boston 10 minutes before Swayman was not signed? Well, completely different after he did sign. But I honestly just look at Ottawa's lineup and it makes sense. And I haven't been able to say that for a number of years of, I think they finally put together a fourth line, at least based on the preseason, the slotting of the defenseman, the simple fact of the goaltender, Wally. That's a good-looking hockey team on paper. So let's fast forward to Thursday and let's see what ends up happening.
Yorkie?
What? What's so funny?
It's because you're like on a 10-second delay. I feel like we have those cans.
I know. I'm trying to talk less today, so because I'm listening.
Oh, now you tell me.
This is your opportunity to be to jump in today. This is your chance. We're waiting for.
I never want to interrupt the smartest man in hockey.
You could get out of your lane for once.
I did it, and you yelled at me
about an opportunity.
About Charlie in
Come
charge.
On.
This is exhausting today. By the way, we do have tomorrow in the show, we are going to announce the winner of the tickets that are going to the Panther game. It's exciting because we're going to have a member of the Ottawa Senators do the draw. So stay tuned for that. Nice. Our season previews tomorrow. And I don't know if it's Wednesday or not. Yorkie, I don't think you're available for Wednesday show. However, we do have, I got to get back to it, perhaps a big announcement coming Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's also coming. And we will have a show Thursday as well. And maybe after the game, Friday morning. I haven't told Yorkie about that yet. We'll move on quickly. Yeah. And hoping the delay, he won't pick it up. So until tomorrow, we will chat then, shall we?
All right, Ottawa. Have a great day. Cheers, everyone.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.